Hi everybody, welcome back, and if this is your first time, welcome. My name's Max Haddad, and today I'm going to talk to you about some wisdom that I got while in prison, and I couldn't help it. I couldn't help but learn this lesson. I've talked about before how gratitude, a word I don't like, is a big part of me staying sober and staying out of prison. The reason I don't like the word is because I felt like when I was 15, so that's 15 years ago, I couldn't stop hearing about gratitude. I was attending AA meetings trying to get sober. Everyone was talking about, gratitude's not just a feeling, it's an action. And like, I think it was like Time magazine had a cover of a Buddhist monk, with his head strapped up with electrodes or whatever on it. And it said, the happiest man in the world is gratitude. Why? Stuff like that. And I knew stuff in my life was good, and I guess I was grateful for it, but I couldn't implement that gratitude in a way that mattered. I could tell my mom, hey, I love you, thank you for everything, but it didn't really matter. Maybe it mattered to her. It mattered to me, but it didn't impact my life. And so gratitude is a word that continues to bother me because I feel like it's thrown around. And also the whole idea that you can just be a Buddhist monk and now you're happy forever. That's not even backed up by science. I believed it for the longest time just because I saw a monk on a magazine cover with electrodes strapped to his head. I assumed it had just been proven that Buddhism is the answer. And there's no evidence to suggest that anything you get about meditating on gratitude lasts longer than a couple days. It's something that you have to keep doing forever. And there's nothing wrong with continuing to do that forever. It's just, I don't need Oprah and Deepak Chopra to sit and whisper in my ear about how if I'm just grateful, everything will be perfect, because that's just not been the case. Now, why was this a lesson that I couldn't learn forever, but I finally feel like I snagged onto and have managed to continue to hold on to while I was locked up? And that's because of the obvious. Prison sucks, and you're trying to latch on to anything. Sorry if you can hear my dog. Latch on to anything that helps you. So I had to find something. I had to find tools that helped me to feel better than just what my environment was. And the way that I learned it was laying on my bunk in prison, feeling miserable, probably half starving, maybe literally, maybe not literally. I probably had about 100 pounds I could lose before I was in danger, and thinking about all the good stuff that I was missing out on. It doesn't sound like gratitude. It doesn't sound pleasant. It doesn't even sound helpful. It sounds like some version of self-pity, and I think it was. I think that's where it started. And I started to think about, okay, so you got a lot of time to think. If I'm looking at these things that have happened in my life, people, places, things, events, whatever, as good, as better than where I'm currently at, then there's some type of hierarchy of values, right? This is up there, where I'm at is down here. Therefore, I'm here, I'm looking at that thing as being better. And I realized that as long as I could convince myself that there was hope, that despite me being in the gutter at the moment, that I would at some point return to that better place with those people, places, and things that I loved, that I cared about, that made me happy, I could feel gratitude because I knew that I was heading in that direction. So even though my life was shit, and I felt that way, there was a glimmer, there was a brightness to it. There was this tiny little spark of positivity. And what's neat about it is, and the reason that I've been able to keep it with me, because that's, okay, so your life is crap and you're looking at good stuff, and then what happens when your life is good? You lose that ability. It works both ways. It's like the law of relativity or something stupid that I don't know about. So I guess I'm stupid. I don't math theories. When my life is good, and my life is pretty good right now. It's life, but it's pretty good. I can look at bad things. I can see that I am here now instead of here, and see that, God, it could be way worse. I can't look at other people's lives that are suffering more than I am and feel anything other than pity or maybe some compassion for them. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't make me feel any better to think about other people. I have to think about my life when it was trash. So I get to think about being in prison. I get to think about being in active addiction. Laying in that prison bed, trying to figure out how to feel decent. So this hierarchy of values, accurately identifying or somewhat accurately identifying the thing that you hold in high esteem, the place in your life you want to be in order to feel good, a place that you can return to, whether that's just with a group of friends that you're not going to get to see right now, but maybe in a couple months it'll work out. A career path that you've, shied away from or accidentally got away from. You took this path and you didn't mean to get so far away from it, but you can return to it. Being outside more, exercising more. There's all sorts of things. And it's not about looking at them like it's some, dream world, like just living in your head. It's about really feeling like if I'm not careful when you're in a good place, if I'm not careful, I could return to that bad place. Or when you're in a bad place, knowing that just try your best and you will end up back at that good place. Gratitude for me has not been something that I have to be experiencing because of wonderful things in the moment. I can be grateful because I know that there are good things ahead of me. And I can be grateful because I know that there are bad things behind me. I wouldn't have learned that, I don't think, had I not gone to prison. The last time I said I would go to prison again, most people understood. Some people got upset and they thought that it was some weird clickbait thing, that I was, I don't know what they thought. They were dumb, I guess. Because no, I don't want to go back to prison again. That should be obvious. That's what this whole channel is about, how bad prison is. But guys, there are some things that I would not have in my life right now if I didn't go. Number one is my family. Number two is sobriety. My family would have wanted to be in my life, but I was so effed up by addiction and other mental illnesses, I couldn't be a human amongst humans. That was just an impossibility. And this is one of those things. This ability to self-soothe by seeing hope in the future and seeing misery in the past and feeling relief at not being in that position anymore has really been a gift. And it was one I couldn't give to myself unless I was put in a position to have to figure it out, to have to create that gift spontaneously or whatever. And this applies to you. This isn't, an exclusive thing, magic trick, Jedi mind trick, that's only for people like myself who have been locked up or who have been at the bottom of the mental health barrel. It's not. Because you don't have to pick the worst stuff in the world to think back on. It can just be, God damn, I am happy I don't work at so-and-so office anymore. This new office I'm at is so much more comfortable. I don't go into work feeling like I'm going to vomit, and I don't leave with, 1,000 pounds on my shoulders. It's better. I'm grateful. Thank you, life, for putting me here, for helping me get here. Thank you, me, for giving me the tools and the brain and the experience to end up where I'm at, to take care of myself long enough that I ended up at this better place. It works for awful stuff and it works for annoyances. I'm grateful that my brother's not in my life. My very sick prick of a brother who is just happy to shut up, phone. Make everybody miserable around him. It was actually a reminder that I'm glad I set because I forgot to do what it was reminding me to do. Who's happy to make everybody around him miserable so he can feel like he's got some modicum of power. I'm happy that he's not in my life. I hope that he is again at some point. But I think back to the time that I was trying to have a relationship with this person who's not in a good position to have a relationship with anyone other than maybe a therapist in a group of doctors. And I think, I am so relieved that I don't spend every morning dreading the conversations I'm going to have with him and every night reminiscing on how awkward it was or how his reactions were so strange and angry and unnecessary and thinking, God, okay, well, I don't have to talk to him until next Thursday. So just, you get to relax until next Thursday. And then it just, slowly starting to well up as the week goes on. And now as the interaction is about to happen again, and I'm nervous, and I'm just so grateful that that's not what my life looks like anymore. I'll reiterate, I hope that at some point he's back in my life and he's doing well. But I'm not trading this serenity for anything, for sure. Use it if you want to. I've had lots of conversations with lots of people about what prison did for me. And it's always a little frustrating because I'm not trying to say prison's great, everybody should go. And I'm not trying to say, boy, aren't I cool for learning this really tough lesson in this really tough place. But I get frustrated because I just see some people struggling, and maybe this is just ego or something, but struggling when I don't feel like they need to be. Struggling so hard that if they just take a second, they'll see that in the very near future, things are going to be better. Or that in the, maybe very near past, things were awful and they've improved somewhat. So, yeah, take care of yourselves. Little prison wisdom. Talk to you soon. Bye.